I don't even know if you want to call it a lucky charm. I think I would just call it black magic, maybe.
60% of the time it works every time. That's a Nutty Buddy.
Nutty Buddies.
Nutty Buddy
Okay. I'm down.
as a snack. I'm telling
Peanut
you right
butter
now,
works.
it works too many times to steal. It is crazy how many times. Save the Nutty Buddy. You can't just use a Nutty Buddy
willy-nilly.
Willy-nilly, exactly. No, you have to use it when you've been sitting on stand for who knows how long, hours, and you haven't seen any deer. I couldn't tell you how many times that I have been eating a Nutty Buddy and had to put it down and shoot a deer. It has happened.
We're on to something.
A dozen times.
Hey, hunting family, what is up? Welcome back to the Tracks and Tackle podcast, where we celebrate the Pennsylvania outdoors and real stories from the woods. Today we got a couple of fellow Northwest PA bow hunters joining us. We got Austin Schweitzer and Chuck Hedland from the Whitetail Distraction Podcast. Their show brings that true hunting camp energy with campfire-style stories, local tactics, season recaps, all the laughs. So we're looking forward to this conversation. They're proud of Pennsylvania's deep-rooted hunting traditions, just like we are. Austin and Chuck, thanks for hopping on the show with us, and let's get ready to be distracted with some whitetail talk. How are you guys doing?
We're good, man.
That was excellent. We're doing great. How are you guys doing tonight?
Yeah, so far so good, dudes. Can't complain. Glad you guys could make it with us.
Yeah, once we got things figured out.
We had a little bit of technical issues figuring out the audio to join, but you guys are in, and so anytime that it's gives us a hard time, that it's going to be a good episode. Something's trying to keep you from pressing forward. So we powered through and we made it. So glad to have you guys with us tonight.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you guys having us on.
Yeah. So, Kris, hey man, how you doing, man? We got Kris
I'm good,
from
dude.
3B Outdoors. I see you got your call sign up.
Yeah.
Kris DC.
I'm the doe commander, guys. I was born in DC. I killed does, so he calls me that now. So Ron gives people call signs. So
for the longest time, I mean, you need to have a call sign if you're in the group, and so for the longest time, we've been trying to figure out what to call Kris, but he's definitely a doe commander.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
I can definitely jive with that, man. We definitely do not take it easy on the doe population over here in Western Pennsylvania.
No, I like tacos and chili, man. So
Heck
you're
yeah,
getting
man.
it when you walk by, So, but I'm good, dude. It's, finally getting some nice weather out here where we're at, and been sitting outside loving weather, man. So pumped to tell some stories and listen to these guys and hear about these dudes.
Rock and roll. Yeah. So, I don't know who wants to start, Austin or Chuck, but why don't you guys tell us introduce yourself to the audience, tell them what you're about and the Whitetail Distraction Podcast, which I love the name, by the way.
I appreciate that, man. That was a long road coming up with that and coming up with the intro and everything else. But yeah, I'm Austin Schweitzer, one of the hosts here at Whitetail Distraction, and I'm a dad. I got 2 little girls. I like hunting. I'm a welder in my free time and my job, I guess, but nothing too exciting there. But man, I'm just I like the outdoors. I like pretty much everything about it. Fishing. I like every kind of hunting when it comes to ducks and deer. Chuck's a little bit of a turkey guy here. It's not quite got me with the bug anymore, but
Guilty as charged.
Guilty. But
Yes.
yeah, man,
It's that
whitetail
time of
hunting
year.
it's one of those things, man. I'm distracted all the time by it.
Yeah. I'm not into ducks. I don't know if you guys could see that at all.
You can't
Yeah,
tell by his
Sure,
background.
You clearly hate geese too.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, I never really got into that stuff, like the goose and duck hunting. That side of it, I never really did. Growing up, we've never done it. So, for me, Charles Hedland here, um, Austin and I we were buddies before we started podcasting. We actually met through a mutual friend. And of course, hunting related was what brought us together. Every party, everything we would do whenever we get together, we'd be talking about hunting. He got me into podcasts. I didn't know what a podcast was at the beginning, and once I started listening to them, just watch out because I'm an accountant. I do a lot of boring, long hours. It was tax season. I'm working 12 hours a day with my earbuds in, and I'm listening to podcasts all 12 hours. It just I could not get enough of it. And then over time, Austin's like, "Hey, we should probably just kind of do a podcast." And by the way, I already have the name, and I'm like, "Okay, I'm in." So a night watching Meat Eater and drinking Busch Lights, we had the intro down, we had pretty much everything we were gonna do, and we started recording doing this, and now we've been doing it for 8 years. So yeah, it's been a long ride. There's been bumps and ups and downs with us because we are family men. We don't take this thing as a job. It's a very high end passion of ours, but it's not a job. And when it comes to family, hunting, or podcasting, we typically pick family and hunting. I mean, hunting, typically even more than the family part for me. But I got a little girl now too, so I'm starting to feel what Austin went through. I mean, for 8 years we've been doing this. We were both married, but no kids, and we had all the time in the world to do this thing.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much our journey, man. And here we are talking to you boys.
I have like a controversial, some people get it, some people don't. Sounds like you guys do thing. I mimic what you guys just said, but when it gets to like, oh, I'm grinding and I got to do the grind for all this stuff, I'm out at that point, man. If it's not fun anymore and it's taken away from me having coffee with my wife or chilling with the kids, I don't mind putting the work in, and we're going to put the work in to have fun with this podcast or for hunting or whatever. But if it's more stress and more pressure, I'm out. I'm not doing it, And
yeah. I think at this point, our friends are like, you guys just can't stop doing the podcast because then what are we going to do? We want to come over and drink and talk deer hunting and turkey hunting. And it's like, yeah, I get it. Yeah. That's why we've been doing this for 8 years. If we didn't still like it, we'd stop doing it. But I mean, we really do enjoy it, man. It's fun. I mean, the people you get to meet through an outdoor podcast, and you talk to people and they're pretty amazed when, especially in my profession, I'm not around other outdoorsy people, other hunters all the time. So when they find out I have a hunting podcast, it's like, and it never
another
fails.
side to this guy.
Yeah, exactly. It never fails. Every once a year we do a finance forum in Kansas City, and I go out there, and the first question anybody sees me, you still have your hunting podcast? I kid you not. It's every year, and it's like a dozen people ask me that every year. So people are fascinating with, man.
For sure. I was just laughing about thinking about bush lattes and hanging out with your buddies. So
well, it's a good time, man.
You get that when you're in your work environment, right? And people know you, that side of you. When they find out that you have this other side or this other story, like the other side of the coin, you got this hunting podcast or you're into the outdoors and things like that. That's a memorable thing. So when you're in a conference type of environment, you got hundreds of people showing up for, maybe one focal point. That's how people remember you, because you're not just another face. You're the guy with the podcast.
Yeah, I won an award 2 years ago, most likely to survive the zombie apocalypse. That was my award.
Nice.
Yeah.
He's got some outdoor skills.
I have a thing where I work that like I assign people like a task if that happens. Like, what are you going to do? What are you going to bring to my wigwam for the zombie apocalypse? And this one guy, he's one of my best buddies, but he's like real bougie, always has his hair done up, his car's immaculate. And I'm like, you're just going to clean the place, man. That's where we're at. I need a butler. I got you a French maid outfit. We're good. Yeah. So, what resonated with me from you guys, from following your Instagram, and your podcast and stuff is that similar to me. You guys like having fun, laughing and stuff. So, talk about kind of how you came up with that kind of atmosphere with the campfire, camp kind of vibe and stuff like that, and how that really resonates with you guys.
Well, I mean, you think about it, like it's kind of like Charles said, how we kind of met and got into this. Like you go to parties or you go, just out with friends or anything like that, and you tell stories. You're not sitting there, throwing tactics back and forth with each other. So it was kind of one of those things like, yes, we're hunters, yes, we're proficient, but like I don't feel like either one of us are really all that qualified to like give you the advice that you need to know to kill the biggest buck of your life. You know what I mean? Like we like hearing stories and just BSing with guys and really just creating relationships with people, honestly.
I think also, too, you got to think about when we joined in, podcasting at that time was a very hard-hitting tactics type podcasts were out there. The Hunting Beast, what are some of the other ones? Mark Kenyon's podcast. There was a lot of podcasts out at that point that were very, very tactic driven.
Yeah.
And we didn't want to regurgitate the same thing everybody else was talking about. So what we wanted to do with our podcast from the beginning was always just keep it campfire. We're around and we tell that when people come on, that's the first thing we tell them. Like, this is just, you're sitting around a campfire with your buddies, and people get nervous, and it's like, listen, take a couple sips. Let's put the headphones on. Let's just talk for it. And I kid you not, we've non-recorded better podcasts in the first hour and the last hour of being together because we never hit the record button. We're just sitting here BSing back and forth. And it's like, well, we should probably hit record and make this podcast happen. And then that's just how we've always done it.
Yeah, sometimes the best conversations are the ones that happen, they carry over after you're done, you hit stop. And we never just get off the microphone right away. We still carry on that conversation, and it's like, man, I should have kept recording because this is gold.
Yeah, we started doing that where we would just hit record as soon as we kind of sit down and get the mics on. But then, there was no context behind it. You can never really use it, but it's hilarious to have that kind of
it's funny to you guys
guys
to know what's going on,
Exactly.
But, I remember the first time ever we went on a podcast a couple years ago. Well, it's probably been 5 or 6 now. And, you're funny with your buddies, like you guys said, or you're driving around the truck, you're laughing and stuff. But then they stick a microphone in your face, and I'm like, okay, no, we were in this place, and there was these guys and they were laughing at us, and you just totally you're out of your element for a second, right? And then you get into it after a while, and you guys got it down. So tell us about the name. I know you guys said that you came up with it, but tell us about the name. What's the distraction?
Well, it kind of came out like when I first got into it too. Like he's been an accountant. I worked for the government at the time, and I had a desk job, and I was sitting there and I was working, going through case files and stuff all day, and like literally I was sitting there looking out the window, and I was just like, I just wish I was fishing right now. It was the summer, and then I was like, man, it's getting closer to hunting season. I just want to hunt. Like I was distracted, just constantly thinking about what I could be doing right now rather than my work. So maybe work from home position wasn't the best for me, but I was just constantly distracted. And that's just kind of where it came about. And I was like, man, I wonder if anybody has a name like that. And I just started doing some Google searches and stuff like that. And no one was like, oh, I'm distracted by whitetails. And I was like, whitetail distraction. That's it.
Yeah.
Like
we were also big time mostly whitetail only hunters at the time, big time archery hunters.
Kind of pigeonholed ourselves there a little bit.
We did. Yeah, we did. But, and then I started making some merchandise. Like I'm wearing the hat right now, the turkey distraction. That's kind of our new spin during turkey season. I always mess with Austin, and I'll change the name to our group chat and different things to the turkey distraction just to mess with them.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I love a good spinoff on that, because there is more to whitetail, but you guys got some good part. You're in a good part of the state for some nice deer, Western PA. And I understand you're big bow hunters too, right?
Yeah,
Yep, for sure.
That's the way to do it. Going back to, I guess, tie into the distraction part. Where I work, probably late August, definitely September, they say I get this glazed over look. Like I don't care about it. I don't care about reports. I don't care about what people are like bringing problems to me or whatever. I'm like, just figure it out, because my mind is on hunting season, and so we get it. I say all that to say that we get it.
You're a buck in the rut.
I am. No, any doubt about it. You don't know me. So you've been doing the pod for 8 years, which is a long time. Like, a lot of people give up, right? But if you're having fun, you keep on doing it. Tell me just a little bit about that, how long you've been running it. Like, what's the biggest surprise or the most fun part about building it so far?
Oh man. I mean, it's been a long 8 years, put it that way, you know, and if you look at our podcast, we don't have like 500 episodes, you know, we're what, pushing on 250 maybe, something like that. I don't even know,
like that. Yeah, I
230.
remember where we are.
You know, we're over 200 episodes, and to us, it was always like I kind of mentioned before, but we never wanted to just force it. Like, we didn't want to force it on one another to have to do this. It's typically me just texting Austin like, hey, a night this week work for you? And it either does or it doesn't, you know, and we record or we don't. Early on, you know, we were trying to push for consistency, because when you first start a podcast, especially in the infancy of it, you have to be consistent. You have to be either a weekly or a bi-weekly podcast. Back then, you know, there weren't that many out there. Now it's a dime a dozen. I mean, there's a billion podcasts
Everybody's got
out
a
about,
podcast.
yeah, and it's about everything. And, you know, I kind of take a little bit of offense when guys kind of say that to us now, because it's like, well, yeah, now everyone has a podcast, but we have been doing this for 8 years, and it's not been all that easy. You know, when you're grinding to find guests, and that's probably the worst part. The one part that I dislike the most is actually going out and always searching to find someone to come on. But then it also brings the best part of the podcast, which is meeting new people, making new friendships. I mean, we have some of our best friends now, all because of this podcast.
Yeah,
you know,
literally.
We started a Patreon group a couple years ago that we do. We run a Marco Polo app, which is just like a video talking app, basically like a recorded Snapchat, if you will, and it saves like a timeline in the bottom. And we've been running, you know, archery shoots from there. We do all kinds of fun stuff. That is the best part of our podcast now, is that Marco Polo group. It is so much fun. I mean, interacting with the guys, they get a daily podcast from us through there more than they do from here anymore.
Yeah, right.
You know, but it's been a journey, and it is a journey. When you podcast, it is not easy. That's why so many people fail before, you know, what is it, the 9th episode or whatever it is. And you see it a lot. People come and go, and they're in and out. But, you know, we've learned a lot. I will say I have become a better hunter, 100%, no doubt. My success rate from when we started the podcast before to now, I mean, it's gone up and up and up and up every year. And it's not because we're talking tactics, like he said. You know, we're listening to people we're talking about. We're taking what works. And it has been just so much fun to be able to bounce back and forth with different people that can give their own mindset and their own skills. And that's my take on 8 long years.
It's funny, you know, what you said kind of resonated with us. We just had this past weekend a cookout with all these dudes we've met on the podcast and their families. We started a thing our listeners have heard it 1,000 times called the Tracks and Tackle Collaborative. It's all these different content creators, all these other podcasters, all these other YouTube guys. We started a group chat on Instagram, found out we don't live that far from some of them. And Ron said, hey, we got a farm up here. Let's get together, bring your bows, bring some shotgun. And we cooked out all day. And it was just like the most naturally cool thing. And I just told Ron, we pulled up to the place and I had my sons with me. And they're like, do you know these people? And I'm like, yes, but I've never met some of them. Right. You know, but instantly we're getting out and bro hugging and like just duding out. It was like, I mean, we've been on like a high all week. It was like the most fun. And just natural dudes just hanging out, standing around a fire, shooting shotguns, laughing. So, you know, I dig what you guys are saying. I mean, that's just the coolest part. It's just meeting these guys and sharing. You're from Western PA, but we have the same stories probably. We have the same experiences. So to connect on that, it's just rad to me. I don't know, I just did like the scissor thing, but I did. So
you're good.
that happened.
So one of the things that when Kris and I met, because we weren't friends growing up or anything like that. We met one another through social media, and I had him come on the show, and we discovered we don't live that far apart from one another. We're about the same age. We have the same interests, and had him come on the show. In PA, you guys know, like, hunting is a very tradition oriented, deep rooted tradition in PA, whitetail hunting and hunting camp specifically. So you guys have that style of, all right, we're having a tailgate talk. We're all just sitting around the fire. We're going to tell stories and that sort of stuff. And Kris, who grew up in Maryland, right? And he gives me a hard time for being a Yankee, which I get it, right? But he also has an appreciation for like that hunting camp. When I'm talking about, hey, we went to the cabin and I hung out all weekend, leading up to the rifle opener and those type of stories. That's what his group is trying to do. Establish online. His group's been, we celebrated 10 years last year. Kris's group, 3B Outdoors. And that's kind of what we try to do with our show, right? Is how do we create that a place where there's a seat at the table for everybody. Everybody brings something to the table, and there's room for everybody to belong. And come and tell us your stories, because we want that hunt camp type of atmosphere or environment.
Yeah. Yeah, and I grew up with that same thing, that hunt camp environment. Since I was 12 years old, we would always go, and all my brothers, my dad, my cousins, my uncles, we would go, and we would, in the early ages, we would go out and bring a camper, and we would all squeeze into this camper, and that was the first day of deer season, every year. And, no one gets any sleep because, my cousin's snoring his ass off, my dad's snoring on the other end, the whole thing's shaking. Like, you don't get you're already anticipating first day of rifle season, so you're already fired up, and then you got this going on. And that's how we grew up. And then as our group started expanding, my cousin's kids got older, they started to hunt. We would start renting cabins, and we would bounce around and go to different places. Well, then, I don't know if it's been 7 or 8 years now, we've bought our own camp finally.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's just been incredible to have a place to go up to. And we always, I feel like every time we go, it's an event to go up there. Like, first day of archery, it's tradition. We're going up there. First day of rifle, there's a big group. Yeah. It's every time we do anything, it's like an event of outdoors. We have the Killing Grill locally that my family's been running. We actually have, I don't even know. Oh man, I wish I would have known. 18th year, maybe.
It's gotta be.
It's more. It has to be more than that. Maybe it's like the 18th or something year anniversary. It might even be more than that. I have to look, but we've been doing this for a long time. I remember when I was a real little kid, they got together and had a big bonfire, and everybody cooks wild game. We have so many of these throughout the year. We now are hosting our own like saddle hunting event that we do. It's fantastic. And every one of those events has the same feel as if you were to go up to camp and hang out with a bunch of group guys that have the like-mindedness,
Yeah. I've got a camper story for you. All right. So we hunted out of campers in northern PA. Whenever I cut my teeth, 12 years old, started hunting, we would go up. We had 2 campers. Eventually we had 3, but one was just the sleeping quarters, and one was our kitchen camper and that sort of stuff. But I remember like one of the funniest stories. And being a kid, everything is larger than life, right? When you're getting to go hang out with your parents and your uncles and that sort of stuff. But everybody's sitting in the kitchen camper. We had our meal for the night. It's dark. We're living off of lanterns, the old Coleman lantern, and we're playing cards. And there was no radio, there was no TV. We're just like out in the bush. And one of the guys gets up because he has to go to the bathroom, right? So he's getting ready he goes outside the camper to relieve himself. Big gust of wind comes through. On the handle next to the door where you walked in the camper, we had a black trash bag tied for like trash and cans and stuff. Well, big gust of wind comes through. That thing puffs up as he opens the door. He thought it was a black bear. And it was like the funniest thing, like just for me to sit and tell you guys, like it's not that funny of a story, but for a 12-year-old kid that's getting to go out and hunt and stuff, I'll remember that for the rest of my life, seeing that guy's reaction and how fast he moved, because he doesn't move that fast on a normal day, you know. But those are the hunt camp stories that they leave an impression on you. And if you haven't experienced it, guys like me, I want you to experience that. And so that's sort of the DNA of shows like this.
Yeah, I could go on and on about the camp stories from when I was a kid. You know, there's ones that we still tell every single year, comes up multiple times. You know, my cousin that hunted with us a long time, he passed away in 2011. And, you know, he was such a big part of our lives as a hunter, as my cousin. You know, he was more like a second dad. You know, he was, you know, probably 20 years older than me. So
Right.
he was, you know, in that range of like him and my dad were best friends, even though, you know, my dad and his dad were huge age gaps. So like that's how it worked out. Right. And since he's passed, you know, we've always said the stories about, you know, the best one is the damn soup, the stew that was thawing. We were in a cabin up at Clear Creek. And dude, this is great. I'm telling you. Of course, they're drinking, having a good time. Okay, we're in a cabin, we're eating dinner, and he put it's a big giant gallon Ziploc bag of like stew on top of the like the fireplace area, and he's thawing it out. Okay, so we're all having a good time playing cards, laughing. This thing falls. It starts to thaw out, and it starts to fall. It falls on the wood burner on top of it. Just explodes all over. Fills the whole camp with smoke. He's laughing his ass off, having a great time. He goes over with a spoon and starts eating it off of the wood burner, off the top of it. My dad's flipping out, yelling at him. All of us kids are cracking up. I think it's the funniest thing in the world. Smoke detectors are going off. This little tiny cabin just full of smoke. And those are the memories like that will live on forever, you know, for me. And it's like, you know, I'll never get those days back, but I sure do appreciate them.
Oh man, yeah.
That's why we want to make them. So when we're out, we want to make the most of the days that we're out. Like Kris was talking about this past weekend where we had a bunch of guys together and things like that. We want to make the most of those times because you can't relive them. You can't recreate them. Go ahead, Kris.
I was going to say, let's keep rolling with it. Hit us with some more stories. Funny, life-changing, inspiring, something that got you hooked, you know, anything. Just hit us with some stories, man. I love hearing them.
I got a fun little camper story from this past year, actually. It's short, but I'll tell it because it's funny. Chuck brought his pop-up camper up to the R100, and we were having a good time. We were doing all kinds of stuff, having a fire and shooting and playing cornhole and stuff. And it was, I don't know, it was the night before, I think. It was on a Friday night. And Chuck gets the camper all popped up and ready to rock. And one of our buddies went to bed early. So he goes in, and I'm right in the middle, and Chuck's on the other end because that's where the plug is because he needed his CPAP. So I go in next, and I'm like crawling in my bag, and the other kid that's with us, a damn Rahar, he farts. And it is the worst fart I have ever smelled. And I'm like in my mummy bag, and I'm like, dude, you can't be doing that all night. This is going to be terrible. We were like feet to feet almost on this thing. And Chuck comes in, he's like, hey, it's a little cold outside. I'm going to kick the heater on. I was like, yeah, that's fine. Well, I fall asleep, and Chuck must have fallen asleep too. The heater was on full blast. You probably remember this. And I'm in the mummy sack, and I'm sitting there, and it's blowing straight on my face. And I wake up, and I'm like, the devil's breathing on me. I'm sweating. My bag is soaked. I'm like, trying to fight my way out of this bag. Chuck wakes up. He's like, got cords and stuff all over the place, trying to shut everything off. It was a nightmare, but it was awesome.
That was a heck of a night. And the part you didn't tell was when I had an issue with the electric in there. So I was trying to run the lights just off of the battery. And then the battery dies like middle of the night, and it just starts making this god awful beeping, like not even a beeping, but like a ringing noise. And we're all waking up panicking like it's an alarm going off. And it's saying like CO2 detected. And I'm like, this is an electric heater. What is happening? There's no CO2 here. I don't understand what's going on. It's like 2:30 in the morning. I'm delirious. And I finally just went outside and unhooked the battery. And I don't think we got much sleep at all that night. But that was another moment of like some buddies from the podcast group invited us to this shoot that they do every year. We basically joined in on their camp experience that they do every year. And it wasn't even for hunting. It was just for an archery 3D shoot. You know, we make the most out of everything we do. I mean, we go up to camp and spend full weekend for Camo Cares every year for that 3D shoot. It goes on, man. And the memories we make with just dumb stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
It's like, that's what this is all about. Like you guys were saying, you know,
if you can't have fun,
I just love it.
Yeah. If you can't have fun, I mean, you go out there, you guys know you're out there for a purpose, feeding your family, let's get some meat, whatever, chase a target buck. But if you can't have fun with it, dude, I don't want to do it anymore. I'm past that, you know?
Yeah.
So
there's another funny story I'll share with my cousin that when we were real young, and my younger brother was hunting, so he had to have been 12 or 13, and I was a couple years older than him. And we were at my cousin's camp, and I'd never been there before, and it's probably the only time I've ever been there. It's an old school camp that has no running water, you know, like the outhouse out back kind of deal. Just old, rundown, moldy camp, and we're making the best of it. We're having a great time, and we're playing baseball with a French baguette as the bat. Okay. And yeah, we're having a great time. And again, my dad, my cousin, they're over there sitting on the couches laughing, hooting and hollering. And my brother and I are playing baseball, and I'm pitching, and I throw the ball to him, and he swings and hits it. And next thing you know, my cousin jumps up, ready to fight somebody. Like he's got his hands up. What hit me? Who hit me? And we're like, what happened? What are you talking about? And he's like stunned, right? He's like, who hit me? The baguette broke and come flying out of the bag across the room and hit him square in the side of the head. We had no idea. Yeah, just crushed him, clocked him. He gets up ready to fight somebody like someone just sucker punched him. Dude, we laughed about that all night long. All night long. Oh my gosh. He was a hoot.
Hunting camp stories are the best because they're real.
Yeah.
And as men, this is where we connect. You know what I mean? When we're go to our 9 to 5 and we're doing even on a show like this where we come together as guys, we're swapping stories, or, we're usually pretty cordial, where we're semi-professional, but when you get to hunting camp or fishing camp or, whatever that might be, you're going to go out and you're hanging with guys like that. That's where we're raw with one another. And we make those long lasting memories that we carry with us for the rest of our lives. So, certainly appreciate that. And, just swapping these stories. Every time you guys tell a story, I'm thinking of a story, every time Kris brings up something, I'm like, yeah, that reminds me of the time this happened. So, go ahead, Kris. You look like you had something.
No, I'm thinking of stories. I have thinking of stupid stuff. It should go out there when it's cold and you got nothing else distracted. I'll tell it real quick. So we went, obviously big into duck hunting. We talked about that, right? We went out to this public place one time, and my best buddy who has the boat and took us out, he left his real expensive jacket on the shore one day, and we were going to go back the next day. And somehow we conjured up in our head that, like, just from being cold and tired, that a deer had put this jacket on. And like, it just morphed into like this whole thing about this deer walking out. Then it turned into like one of those like 80s, like members only jackets. And like, we're sending each other memes later, and you're just like crying, laughing. It's not funny it's funny to me thinking about it now, but like the dumbest stuff, but it resonates with you and it stays with you. And more than the killing and the harvesting of whatever you want to do. That's the point of it, man. That broing out with each other and stuff. I mean, that's just what's the raddest part to me, so.
No doubt. Well, I think we're all grown boys to some degree, so when we can get away from the family and we can just hang with the guys, we're able to be grown juveniles once again and cut loose and let our hair down, so to speak. But so part of the having you guys come on the show, and I love swapping stories and getting to know you. Anytime somebody comes on the first time on our show, it's really like a get to know you episode. And so, I want our audience to get to know you guys, know about your your show, your podcast, like what you guys are all about, what you want to do. So, you talked about a couple of different programs. You said about a couple of different events. Like, what do you have lined up for this year? What's your goals for the podcast moving forward? What do you have in the pipeline? Because it's that time of year where it's a little bit slow right now. We're in between season. Turkey distraction is upon us here very soon. But what do you guys got coming up?
I guess the next closest thing's probably 2026 Patreon turkey camp.
That is correct. Yeah. We have the Patreon turkey camp coming up here in May. That has been probably 4 or 5 years now running, where Austin and I just kind of started it down in West Virginia. We would do a trip to West Virginia. We would rent a cabin, and we would get whoever wanted to come from kind of our little podcast family. And we went down there with small groups at first, and then it got larger and larger. Now we have guys that come up from Florida and, different buddies that come from all over the place. And we have camp. So we're doing it Central PA actually this year. And last year we held it at the same place at Adams and Justin, two of our good buddies, closest buddies, PA Bowhunting guys. That was their group that they ran on Instagram. And we're going to be at their camp, and we're going to do that, May 15th through the 19th, which is always something I look forward to. I mean, we have so much fun, but that's next. And then we jump into our saddle event, which I just talked to the guy tonight at dinner. I ran into him that we have the event at his parents' house. We ran it there last year. So we're going to come up with a date for that. Typically we do it in the fall when it's a little cooler, like a September date is probably what we'll look for. And that's more of like a teach and learn, but also an opportunity where all the guys that we know that saddle hunt and people that don't saddle hunt, we can bring a bunch of gear together. They can try different stuff on, see what they like, kind of a try before you buy, but also learn some tips and tricks about saddle hunting, things that we had to learn over the last 5 years, 6 years, that if somebody would have showed us in year one, we had been a lot better off, I think.
Yeah, definitely. We do giveaways and stuff at those events, and we do giveaways throughout the year. We have probably a spring giveaway coming up here pretty quick.
Indeed, yes. And then we also have a deer camp that we started last year through the podcast as well. We did a late season, since they had that late season rifle hunt that they started last year. We did
D-map.
Yeah, we did that on the D-maps up at my camp. We hosted that event as well, and that was a blast. We had some people from all over the state come out to it, so it was kind of thrown together last minute for the guys. But we also currently running a spring archery challenge, which is something that I kind of come up with this year. We always did one in the summer into the fall, just to get guys out shooting their bow, and we did it a couple different ways. This spring I created a golf type, it's kind of like each one's a hole, right? And you have and the rings are like hole in one, birdie, par, bogey, double bogey. And
I can dig it.
Yeah, I added like hazards and everything else. So if you hit it in the water, it's a +1. You got to shoot again, and each hole is a different yardage. We are in week 5 of 6 with that currently going on right now, and it is a blast because I'm having so much fun with it, and I'm not even participating in the event. I'm just keeping score, and I have it all on like a golf scorecard on my computer in Microsoft Excel. It's fantastic. I'm having so much fun with this, but our summer shoot, we get a lot more participation, a lot of guys that are actually shooting their bow that time of year. But, we have a strong group of guys in the South, like that Alabama, Florida area, that are a part of this. So, those guys shoot pretty much year round. And then a lot of guys up here too are pretty serious shooters, and they shoot all year round.
We'll have to get you in touch with some of our guys. There's a guy we met recently who does like the Cam Haynes type stuff where they're running and lifting, and I mean, he's going to do a thing where they're going to do like a 5K up a hill. Yeah, that type of stuff. And they're just, freaking machines, man. But real into it. So let's change gears a little bit, guys. Something I ask people when they come on, a little segment called What's in Your Bag. What's something that you guys take with you? A piece of gear you swear by, Lucky Charm, your favorite snack. What's something you guys are carrying with you?
There's only one answer.
There's only one answer to this, and it's kind of a joke
Okay.
on the podcast and a joke with all the Patreon guys. We swear by it. It is a, I don't know. I don't even know if you want to call it a lucky charm. I think I would just call it black magic, maybe.
60% of the time it works every time.
Yeah.
Love it.
And that's a Nutty Buddy.
Nutty Buddies.
Nutty Buddy
Okay. I'm down.
as a snack. I'm telling
Peanut
you right
butter
now,
works.
it works too many times to still be a joke.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It is
So,
crazy how many times.
I mean,
Kris is going to lay out an internal debate.
or using it like you're opening it up, and that's
No.
when these deer are coming out. Or you
you're
just have
opening
with
it up as a snack because listen, you
Okay.
save the Nutty, but you can't just use a Nutty Buddy
Yeah.
Willy-nilly.
willy-nilly. Exactly.
No.
You have to use it when you've been sitting on stand for who knows how long, hours,
sitting
and you
there
haven't
all
seen
day.
any deer. Yeah,
Yep.
sit there all day. You haven't seen any deer. You're like, all
It's a
right,
game
it's time
changer.
for a snack. Let me pull out the Nutty Buddy. I couldn't tell you how many times that I have been eating a Nutty Buddy and had to put it down mid-eating it and shoot a deer.
Okay.
It has happened
We're on to something.
a dozen times. I'm
Okay.
telling you, and the funny part this year was it's now become a running joke in our Patreon group with our guys, and it's been working for other people too, which is hilarious. Me
Okay.
myself, I haven't ran a Nutty Buddy in the woods in years, and it's been, I think, a detriment to me. This year I brought it out, first day out, saw 2 bucks, could have shot, passed on one, screwed up on the other. Next time out, saw another buck, and then the last time I had one, I ended up killing my buck. So I'm telling you, there's
Sold me.
something there.
I
There's
can get
something
behind it.
How
I can
good
get
is a
behind it.
Nutty Buddy though when it's like fresh and soft? I'm on big boy status, okay? So like I'm in.
Yeah.
I have right here. That's the lighting's bad, but like it's a canvasback duck. That's like the king of ducks, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it's like a trophy duck, whatever. And it was a big thing where we're sitting at this place, and every time I would go to take a bite of like my Sheets MTO, these ducks would come in and dive bomb us. So that was a thing for a little while. It's kind of, I think I wore the magic off of it. So I'm going to have to try the Nutty Buddies again. And
Oh, yeah.
I'm
dude.
convinced. I kind of went on a keto and carnivore thing for a while, and I stopped eating Pop-Tarts in the blind, and I haven't killed a duck since I had a Pop-Tart. So I might have to bring that back. So I'm on
Oh,
board
yeah.
with all that.
Pop-Tarts work.
Well, so in our group, we've got some very firm, like they're firmly planted. They will not move on their stance that Pop-Tarts are the snack of choice. And I debate this, even if it's single-handedly, like I will die on this hill. Like I love Pop-Tarts. Pop-Tarts are great. Pop-Tarts are a good snack to take into the blind or to the stand. But Nutty Buddy, I can get behind.
Yeah, dude.
I am a peanut butter cracker guy. Peanut butter crackers, they work for us. They work for my camp and my family, and we have a very similar results over proven time. Time and time again, where all right, it's time to break out the peanut butter crackers, and it's like shake the bushes because something's we need to change
is there a
things up a little bit.
specific brand of peanut butter cracker? Are we talking Ritz peanut butter crackers?
No,
or
I
like
wouldn't
the
go
orange
Ritz,
ones,
but
the orange
I would
square
say,
ones.
I would say, yeah, like the orange square ones, or I don't care if they're, wheat crackers with peanut butter and honey. Like, you gotta have a little bit of peanut butter in your crackers. I'm not brand specific, and I don't think the Whitetails care either. But
Oh, they
Well-
care if it's a Nutty Buddy or not.
Yeah,
You
don't
can't
go
do-
off brand.
no.
Yeah, off brand does not. If you're going to go off brand, you got to double down, or else it's just not going to have the same potency. So don't do that. And I will say, I've come across a consistency here between all 3 snacks we've mentioned, between Pop-Tarts, Nutty Buddies, and peanut butter crackers. And what I think part of it is the damn wrapper.
Yeah.
Those wrappers are very
Wakes 'em up.
noisy. I think it starts to sound like something rustling, like leaves
Okay.
rustling or chasing.
who
There's
needs
something
to rattle
there.
horns, right?
Yeah.
Who needs to rattle horns when you can
Just
just
open
like,
your snacks.
get into the snack bag?
Yeah.
I can get behind. We're gonna have to do a controlled study on this this fall.
For sure.
I'm telling you, you're going to find out it works, and don't blame the magic, man.
I have multiple pictures of my Nutty Buddy sitting there and a deer in the background.
Oh, yeah.
I actually have a video of me shooting a buck while my Pop-Tart is laying on the limb beside me.
Oh, yeah.
I was
You
mid
killed a
pop.
buck.
Yeah, I was mid
take a-
Pop-Tart,
Time out.
And I had to kill a buck.
What kind of Pop-Tart?
That one was frosted blueberry.
No, that was an unfrosted blueberry.
It might have been unfrosted blueberry. I was in bad times then.
Blueberry still though.
It was a rough best of times. It was the worst of times. So you shoot. What do? Right, you take a buck with a bow. You get the grip and grin picture. You got your bow laid up. Like, really, we need to start laying out our snacks
in front of the animal.
In front of the bow.
All right, so listen.
I've got my decoy nutty bar.
I got a lot of taxidermy because one of my best buddies is a taxidermist, okay? And we're into duck hunting. It's a big thing in duck hunting to get like a cool-looking duck on like a vintage ammo shotgun shell box. I'm going to get one on a blueberry Pop-Tart box. He's like, I'm not going to do it. And I'm like, you're going to do it.
You're going to do
it on the shelf back there. Because that's actually, as I'm researching it, there are people that collect vintage Pop-Tart things. So I also collect, the other part of my room over here is I have some comic books. So I'm real big into Batman. There is a blueberry collectible Pop-Tart Batman box from like Batman Forever in the 90s that I'm going to get, and I'm going to put a dead duck on it. And I'm
Dude,
just
that
all
is
about
awesome.
I did not know this.
I'm such a fan of that.
I'm glad you're on board for the blueberry, though.
Yeah, blueberry's where it's at, dude. The only other one that I have found that is far supreme, and they're hard to find, is they make a cinnamon roll Pop-Tart that will change your life.
Yeah, those were really good. I'm also a frosted brown sugar cinnamon or whatever those are.
That's for old ladies.
They got to be frosted, though.
Nope.
No. The old ladies go unfrosted because my mother loves those, and she's an old lady.
Nope.
And she loves
unfrosted. Probably
nice,
but she's wrong. Nope, not into it.
Shout out to Brenda.
Yeah, she also got me into like grape nuts, so that tells you all you need to know.
Oh, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Love them.
Yeah.
6 pounds of sugar, grape nuts.
We started off talking about we want to keep it real. We're not going to talk tactics. Like, we're talking tactics here with
hard hitting,
big time.
This is serious tactics.
Deep convo on your choice of snack, but Kris loves the what's in your bag question. Is there anything else that you guys like to carry? When you go out into the
woods, a piece of gear you guys like, something you swear by.
I honestly don't know if I don't know. I'm a one stick hunter, so like I had to tell you that because I'm a one stick hunter, right? That's by law. I have to tell you that, or else I'm not doing my job as a one stick hunter. So I'll tell you, as any saddle hunter, the biggest thing is a retractable bow rope. In my opinion, is huge. Whenever you're climbing up and down a tree, I absolutely love a retractable bow rope. So that would be one thing that I don't think I could go in the woods without.
Yeah, that's good. On the kind of the same lines of that, I would say climbing gloves. Like, I have my gloves that I wear in the stand, but I have a pair of climbing gloves that just hangs on my saddle. And it's just, you wear your regular gloves, they get marred up when you're going up the tree and everything else. You got firm, nice dexterity. Your fingers aren't cold.
I'm glad he brought that up too, because he got me into that, and I always have a pair of gloves on my saddle like all year round, and I rarely use them. But I'll tell you, when it really comes into play, I'm deadly allergic to poison ivy.
Yeah.
So those have become kind of like my poison ivy climbing gloves, and I'll always put them on, and I'll tear poison ivy off with them and everything else because I get it so bad. So like the extra set of climbing gloves goes a long way.
Yeah, big time.
For sure.
So, as we meet people, and you said one of the cool things about podcasting is you get to meet all sorts of guys and stuff. Like, we learn cool stuff like that, when we ask, like, what's in your bag, different guys have different answers for that. And we, some of that stuff's great for takeaways, and we can apply that in our bag as well. So
what's your favorite answer of all time on that? Just out of curiosity, I didn't mean to cut you off. Out of all the people you've asked, what's your favorite answer?
I'm biased, but my brother's on the show a lot. We're close.
I was going to go with
he's always ripping
strap.
Yeah, that, or he's ripping a Marlboro Red, and that sucker will kill. He's got Pope and Young deer that he's killed just with a dart hanging out of his mouth. He's that dude. He can't sit still. He's a hardcore bow hunter. He's putting the time in, but he can't sit still. he's smoking in the tree stand, and he's doing the right stuff, and he's putting the time in. But he killed a deer, looks like a mule deer, in his backyard, and he's just got an old Marlboro Red there, dude, like he's Dale Earnhardt from 1992,
Yep.
So
Fun to watch.
That's probably my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It goes to show that people take hunting way too serious sometimes.
Yeah.
When, if you just do certain things right that work for you,
yeah,
then that's what it is, man. As long as you're successful doing what you can do, I'm not going to tell you right or wrong, because that's what you can do, and you can prove that you've been successful doing it.
Well, you got to know your area too. So where we grow up, it's semi-urban still. I mean, even if you go on a farm that's 100 acres, there's neighborhoods and stuff. I don't know how it is for you guys exactly, but they're used to that stuff where we're at. It's not going to bump them off and scare them for someone smoking a cigarette or opening the coffee up on the way to the stand, So he puts his time in. I give him a hard time, but he puts the time and work in, and he's successful. He's successful with it. So
yeah, definitely.
Well, guys, we're approaching an hour. We'll have to do this again. Appreciate getting to know you guys and rapping with you here a little bit. But what would any takeaways before we wrap? Why don't you tell everybody where they can find you, how they can follow you, and any lasting words of wisdom from the Whitetail Distraction guys?
You can find us anywhere podcasts are found: iTunes, Spotify, all those fun places.
The Whitetail Distraction Podcast.
The Whitetail Distraction Podcast. Instagram, Facebook. Twitter is different. The WD Podcast.
I don't know. We're not even on there. We did one like viral Twitter video back a few years. Man, I love that video. It was just I was driving to work, and there was
that was TikTok.
You're right. It was TikTok. But regardless, we're on TikTok too. And we have like a viral TikTok video of me driving to work, and all it is just this really big deer in February still holding with this little skag rack deer, and he walks right up to the edge of the road, and he's just standing there, and he turns his head and then takes off running. And that video got like millions and millions of views. There's people, you could tell when a video's going viral because like different parts of the world it'll hit, and you'll start getting all comments from those people, and then the next part of the world, and then the next part. It's wild. But that was our big TikTok fame, and that we don't do anything on there anymore. If you want to message us and you want to message back, hit us up on Instagram, sometimes Facebook, but I don't always get my notifications from Facebook. Yeah. So Instagram's where we're most active.
It's funny you said, because I don't have TikTok, but one of the videos I put up, it got like thousands and thousands and thousands of views. Is my brother's a welder. My brother-in-law's a welder, and he made me a treble hook for duck hunting when we'd hunt on rivers and stuff. And I just took a slow-mo with my iPhone of me throwing this in my yard, and I put like Hatebreed music to it, and it just got like a trillion likes on it. And I'm like, this is just me effing around in my front yard. But if I think something's cool, it's never cool.
Yeah. That's like the YouTube shorts that were real hot there for a little while too. We would just put the dumbest things on there, and they would just take off and have a ton of views. But yeah, that's pretty much where you can find us. Our podcast is all audio based. We are on YouTube as well, but it's all audio based. We don't do anything with video. And anywhere you find a podcast, wherever you're listening to this one, you can look up the Whitetail Distraction Podcast and look for our logo.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on.
Yeah, we'll link to the show in the show notes. Appreciate getting to know you guys. Kris, as always, man, nice hanging out, having time to touch base with you during the week. And to the audience, if you're still hanging out with us at this point in the show, I'm going to tell you to go smash the like button, share, drop a comment. Helps us in the algorithm. Remember always to get outdoors, stay wild, and nature is our playground.